Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where last episode we managed to get a state from Wandala, but it wasn't as much as we wanted, and these areas are still going to remain isolated from our market for now. That is not great, so that's Chad, Niger, and Outer Houseland, and all of those are right down over here. So this is Outer Houseland, Niger, and Chad. So all of that, that's a problem, for sure. We can't go after Wandala for a while yet, but it's looking very likely like we're going to be going into debt. We did not import our extremely strong economy, unfortunately. I was hoping that we would, but it's quite weak, to be honest. We'll just have to work on that. It's okay. So for now, what I want to check on is I want to check what our interest rate is going to be. We need to go into here and check in here. So our interest rate is going to be 13.5%. Okay. It's not the literal worst, but it's pretty bad. Okay. So that's noted. Our credit limit is 12 million. So for now, we're going to be deficit spending. IKEA is damaging relations with us. That is noted. We want to make friends with Portugal, but there's not really too much that we can do as of right now. So that's noted. We'd like to make friends with France and Portugal, but we're working on boosting relations with Ukraine right now, and maybe we'll find a friend there. That would be nice. So we got an advance on our dedicated police force. That's good, but we still need more work on that, for sure. We did finish up our logging camp in Apulia, but we currently have some issues, of course, with our unincorporated state situation. So that's noted. Iran is likely to increase autonomy. Yeah, that's... It's fine if they do that. To be honest, we've got bigger problems. Our economy is not the best in the world, and I want to check on the status of our state incorporations. So this is state incorporations here, but these take a while to do, right? And they just progress over time, if I understand that correctly. Is that just in the ledger? Okay, so the ledger changes when we open different lenses. Noted. That's good to know. So I'm wondering how long it takes to get those states incorporated. So let's take a look at a state that we are currently incorporating. So Abruzzo. That sounds Italian to me. Where are we? Abruzzo. Yes. So that's right up over here. Yeah, so 20 years to get that incorporated. That's a fifth of the game, basically. Well, a little under because we started a little early. So that is definitely going to be awkward. We can see that our GDP is not the greatest in the world right now, but our deficit isn't quite as bad now. That's good. And we see some private construction going on. That's good, too. So we're seeing a rice farm in Basra. Okay, we love that. So for the moment, I think we're just going to chill. We need to make our way towards colonization, and we need to get our economy a bit stronger. But we're in a good spot here, I think, to be fairly aggressive in the mid-game. But the early game is going to be rough for us, I think. So we definitely need to work our way through some of this construction. I'm assuming we no longer have much of a hardwood shortage, and that probably means that we should move this guy. I always want to drag and drop these the way you can in Hoi, but you just can't. We're just going to move this logging camp in Apulia. Alt-click to move it to bottom. Okay. We're just going to move that down, and we're going to get a lead mine building in Algiers. Although this is really, really low construction efficiency. I've changed my mind. We're going to go back to the logging camp in Apulia. That was just going to take a very long time, and I want to get another logging camp online. So let's do that quick, and then we'll do the lead mine. We do need to get that going. I think I'm going to cancel this lead mine, though. We're only going to do the one lead mine for the time being. So, our bureaucracy definitely needs to be worked on, but we've got other problems at this moment. And yes, I'm aware about this. So we just went to consideration on dedicated police force, but I do want to go to colonization as soon as we can. All of these states down over here can be colonized, and I would love to do that. Portugal's already got this, and they're going to start colonization. So that is absolutely going to be a thing. Now, Ukraine out over here, we are currently boosting... I always forget that you can do that in Europa. Not Europa, in Victoria. We're boosting our opinion with them here. They're embargoing us, and they rivaled us, so it's slow going. But we're just seeing what we can do there. Okay, so we're going to finish up this logging camp in Apulia, and then the question is, which of these are actually costing us the most? Which of these shortages? 36 buildings, 13, 14, 5, and 2. So that pretty much tells us that we want the clipper production going on here. That would be ideal. Now, clippers are not produced by military shipyards. Clippers are produced, I believe, by regular shipyards, which we don't currently have being built. So let's build one of these in Palestine, and let's set that as being the highest priority except for raw resources. So we'll put that there. And then 13 and 14. So ammunition and small arms. I don't think we currently have an ammunitions factory being built, so we should probably queue up a munitions plant here. And that is going to be where? Well, all of these are pretty much rough. We'll just put this here for now. So I believe ammunition and small arms are about the same. Man o' Wars is 5 buildings and engines are 2. So I'm going to put the military shipyard here. And I'm going to put, well, we can't actually build any engines at this time. Explosives are an input good for the munitions plant, so we should probably build that first. Fertilizer, we don't appear to have a shortage of at this moment, so I'm going to move that down to the bottom. And the explosives, if we don't have a shortage of that right now, that will go at the bottom too. So it'll be something kind of like this for the moment. We absolutely need to address these shortages. No doubt about that. So we're going to finish up this logging camp, and that will be fine. So we've got about 4 weeks on that. Then that lead mine is going to take a very long time indeed. So construction efficiency in Algiers, huh? Comanche is requesting a greater degree of autonomy. That's okay. I'm going to allow it. Our vassals aren't very important to us. They're not connected to our market. They're landlocked in most cases. Iran is the exception there. But in most cases, they're landlocked. It's not a big deal. So for the moment, that's fine. Now, we do probably want to start getting ourselves a incorporation, specifically in Apulia. So I'm going to do that, and that puts us at 96.3 negative bureaucracy. So I'm going to start building a government administration, which generates 50 bureaucracy. We're going to need 2 of these. And we can see our taxation capacity in Campania is actually low. So each of these gives us 10 taxation capacity, which means that we need 10 of these. Not right now, but eventually we need 10 of these. So what I'm going to do is that, and then I'm going to do the lead mine here. We're going to do this government administration, then the lead mine, then the shipyard. Well, then another government administration, then a shipyard, then another government administration, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, this is going to be awkward. We're going to have to navigate the pagination here. It's not ideal. So currently this is 7 years of construction, and eventually we're going to want to increase our construction speed, but right now is definitely not a good time for that. We just don't have the funding to do it at this moment. So we're going to have to hold off on that, get our economy a lot stronger. This fertilizer plant should be here, I believe. And then we'll just do something kind of like that. Like that. Okay, that should do. So we're going to get a government administration going in here. That'll be done in 7 weeks. That's going to boost up our bureaucracy once we get all of this done very significantly. And you can see that we are now rocking that explosives shortage, and I'm not terribly surprised about that. Okay, so we're hoping that dedicated police force just cruises right through here, and then we can rush colonization. That's the idea. Monument to the Prince, huh? What do we got going on here? Sure. That's fine. So, what do we got for dedicated police force? Advance. I mean, it's better than nothing. That's for sure. I'm going to take this one. We're already pretty high on the success chance, so we'll take the other good benefits as well. Okay, so we're going to be finishing up this government administration soon enough. Now, unrealized taxes is only 1.95k. That's understood, but we'll get that done, and that'll start producing some bureaucracy. That'll be good. What are our bureaucracy production methods at this moment? Checking through here. Government administration. So we're on filing cabinets. We're on professional bureaucrats and administrative clergy. Okay. That's noted. So that'll start coming online here, and that'll help our bureaucracy issue. And as we get more bureaucracy, we can work on integrating more of these states, which is going to be a very big deal for us. So that seems fine. 32 weeks, huh? It's not too bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not terrible either. So our GDP is currently slowly sinking downwards a little bit, and I'm not terribly shocked about that. We've got a lot of shortages. We need to get our shortages solved. Why is this under unrecognized countries pinned? I guess because we have a truce with them. Interesting. So that's absolutely fine for now. Now, we're currently dipping down into debt, and this is unsurprising. If we were to stop constructing, then we would be able to get out of debt, but as of right now, our interest payments are not awful. We would still be negative, even excluding temporary income and expenses. That's interesting. We gotta get this lead mine built, though. We really gotta. So for now, that's our goal. We want to get that lead mine online. Now, up here in Apulia, let's see here. Here. Is this where we were building? No, we were building in Campania, I believe, the government administrations. So we currently have 50 people working here. 421k peasants. I am guessing that they just do not have the education level to work in our government administration at this time. So we should probably consider dropping one of our consumption taxes, like for example glass, which is making us almost nothing, and using that to promote social mobility, specifically in Campania, with the idea being that we need to get more educated people here in order to get our government administration online. So that's underway, and that will, in theory, start to get us some people working here. So, as we can see, on that week tick, it didn't get us any, but it won't try again until 10 March at this point. So let's see what happens when we get to 10 March. Right now. Okay, so they're attempting to hire 15 employees per week right now. And they've not managed to hire any, but I'm not terribly surprised by that. It's probably going to take a little while for that education to come in there. So that seems okay. We've got a long, long road ahead of us to this country being functional. But that's good. That's ultimately what we want. We don't want to just breeze through and have everything be super easy, right? That's not the idea here. So it's great that we have significant problems. As we can see right now, our literacy is 29.1%, and we certainly do want to change that. There's not much that we can do on it right now. But we absolutely do want to get that changed. So what is our current innovation rate? Currently 50 is being generated each week, 50 uncapped. We've got an innovation cap of 93.7. So that is absolutely noted. Okay. So for now, this seems reasonably fine. Dedicated police force might just pass here. That would be great if it did. It did. Okay, so that immediately put us further back on our bureaucracy because that gave us a police institution here. And that's understood. We can take this all the way up to the top if we had the bureaucracy for it, but we don't. What I want to do is I want to check in here. We cannot do any of these, and the question is why? Israel is colonial country. Interesting. But what about this one? Enactment success chance needs to be above 0%. So this is just not supported politically. And then colonial exploitation is also not supported politically at this time. Okay. So that's noted. We could change our government here. It's just the landowners don't have any interest in it. But what if we were to put the armed forces in? That would move us down to an unacceptable government 40. But if we were to do the rabbinical council, that would only lose us 2. What would that give us here? That would allow us to go to private schools, or, well, religious schools. We have private right now. So that's noted. Charity hospitals would also be probably a good thing. I'm wondering what our mortality rate is. Our current pop growth is quite low, so that's something we could definitely think about. The real question here is this going to change us over to allowing any sort of colonialism? Because that's what we really, really want. So these are the laws without any governmental or movement support here, and yeah, colonialism is in that list. So if we were to bring this down to here, at this point we could do colonialism. But it would move us down to an unacceptable government. I think that that's kind of fine. It's not ideal, it's for sure. But we need to get this done. So we need to do this, and now that'll allow us to go to either colonial resettlement or colonial exploitation. The numbers are slightly better for colonial exploitation in terms of the endorsement, but overall, the odds are the same. Let's work on it. So we're going to get that going, and we'll see how that goes. But if we can get colonial exploitation, that would be huge. So as of right now, I want to check in on our... Okay, so we're on private schools right now. At least we have some form of schools. That's something. It's wealth-based, and our wealth is not ideal right now. So that is absolutely noted. So over here in Campania, the real question is, okay, we've not managed to get anyone in our government administration. We just hired 5 people. So that's, you know, exciting. We are going to be finishing up this lead mine, but that is currently 32 weeks away now. Oh, right, because we started building the tea plantations. Sure. That's okay. I don't mind it. That's the reason why that changed so much. So that seems fine. Our finances are distinctly a problem. There's no doubt about that. And our bureaucracy is a problem as well. So we just got to slowly work our way through that. Mission number 1 is to finish these shortages. There's a coal shortage at this time. So I would like to get a coal mine going, and that would be in Lebanon. Now, I don't actually want it here. I want it here. Okay, only minus 5% construction efficiency, so that should be good. And we'll just get that completed for now. Now, we're currently minus 125 convoys. That's not ideal. Not ideal at all. And as we can see right now, our finances are going to be bad. We have to build our way into prosperity. We have to spend our way to prosperity. Sardinia Piedmont. Okay, I'm not too concerned. Where even is Sardinia Piedmont right now? Okay, yeah, I'm not very concerned about that. So France is currently cautious towards us. I'm wondering if they would be willing to accept anything at this point. Probably not. I would love to be able to just improve opinion with them. And I'm not entirely certain why we can't. Diplomacy has definitely been overhauled here. It's different than it used to be, that's for sure. So why do we have unavailable diplomatic actions? Or why don't we have unavailable diplomatic actions there? Why can we improve with Ukraine, but not with France and Portugal? I don't know. Navarra is genial towards us. They're not very strong. So we'd definitely like to get ourselves some allies going, and now is not a good time for us to like go to war or anything like that, unless it's something like Wandala again. Iran wants more autonomy. Yeah, you can do that. That's fine. I don't mind it. We'll change that later, but for now, it's okay. So at this point, our lead mine is about 20 weeks away. We're also going to finish this tea plantation in about 5 weeks, and this is going to be doubled, but that's absolutely understood. So we can continue to build up debt for a while here. I would rather not declare bankruptcy because we're in a precarious diplomatic position as well. So that is absolutely something to be concerned about. Now, back over this direction, I want to check, not at the shipyards, I want to check the government administration. So this is back up to 50 employees. Okay, so I'm wondering if this is an issue with education or if this is an issue with we're just not paying the money. Because we're not. We're not paying the money for this. So the question is, why are they struggling to hire here? And let's find out. Doesn't really say. Okay. Well, that's useful. I'm guessing that this is probably going to be... Yeah, there's 421k peasants here. This is definitely going to be an education issue. So that's okay. We've got this down over here. Radicalism for violent hostility down here in Hale. Okay, that's absolutely understood. This is an incorporated state. But do we care about the armed forces' approval right now? I kind of think we don't. So I'm going to tell them no. The ethics of exploitation here. 20% of good, 40% of better, and then 40% of bad. Or 50% of good, 25% chance of better, and 25% of bad. I'm going to roll this. Let's see what happens. We got the good. Actually, we got the extra good. So that was great. We're now up to roughly an even chance here. We would really love to get colonial exploitation going. That would be huge. Now, our radicalism is going to be building up, and that's absolutely understood. We're not surprised about that. Things are a bit dire for us right now. We did finish up that tea plantation, so that is good. We've got a banana plantation that is currently waiting for funding to become available, and we're working on a dye plantation, which is, that's actually a really good thing. Dye can be hard to come by sometimes in the early game. So we're only about 9 weeks away from this lead mine in Algiers. This has been a long process to get this lead mine built, but we are almost there. And then that coal mine is going to be starting up after that. Now, our technology on the atmospheric engine is going to finish soon enough. That will allow us to start making engines. And that will be a good thing, but we're a long ways away on that still. So that's absolutely understood. We're 5 weeks away on that lead mine in Algiers. That will help matters for us in a number of ways. So we'll get that going. Eventually. Okay, 3 more weeks on that. I would love to get our bureaucracy fixed. But honestly, if we're not hiring in here in Campania, then it doesn't really matter to us all that much whether we're building more of these government administrations or not, right? So I'm going to move all of these government administrations down to the bottom of the list right now because they have problems that they need to solve first. We do have the atmospheric engine unlocked now, and that will allow us to build a motor industry. And I guess Abruzzo? Nah, I'll build it here. Israeli Blue Nile. So I'll build it there. That went to the bottom of the list, and I actually wanted it on the top, but not exactly the top. We want to move it down, and this is one of those times when drag and drop would be real handy, but unfortunately, it doesn't exist. There we go. That's now at the bottom of the list there, other than the government administrations. And do we want to get, like, a society tech going here? So, standard filing system might be a really good thing to go for at this time. I'm going to do it. So we're going to get that going. That seems okay. That will help us deal with our bureaucracy issue. So I'm 99% certain that we've got an issue here with our education access. I'm pretty sure that that's the problem here, is that we just don't have the education for this. So that's understood. Plantations and other raw resource extractions are a very good thing to produce at this point because we don't have much education, and that's understood. So the coal mine in Lebanon is going to be done in about 38 weeks at this point, and that'll actually be a little bit faster than that, but that's noted. We're no longer seeing a clipper shortage, but we're also at negative 165 convoys, so I think that we actually do have a clipper shortage. Getting a shipyard built, at the very least, is not a bad idea. So I do want to get that done, and that will be useful. And I think that's probably the reason why we've been seeing our GDP slip a little bit, but we want to get some construction going here. The rural folk are now powerful, and we can see that the stall chance here, this is up to 29.8%. The rural folk are currently angry because of us doing this. So that is not necessarily great. They're at minus 11 at this point. Okay. I mean, they'll get over it. So we currently have a paper shortage. So that's yet another thing that we need to add into the list here. So paper is Syria. Sure, that seems fine. And we'll just move this up to the top. The question is, how big of a paper shortage is this? There are 8 buildings affected by that shortage, and that's probably fairly significant. I'm going to put it here. Okay, so we got a debate here. What do we get? Minus 20% enactment time, and we make the rural folk more angry. Or we say, no, we do this by the book or not at all. And that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to make the rural folk more angry at this time. Now, Armenia wants to go up to protectorate as well. That's fine. I don't mind it. They can do that. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue to work through some of these issues. We've got a famine right now in... Where is this? Is this just general? Where is our starvation at? I wish it told us that. That would be nice. I'm sure there's a way to find it out, but there is definitely some starvation and some severe starvation. And we'll figure out where that is next episode. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. Is probably where our market access is not visible, now that I think about it. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.